Ever think about, like, having a safety net for AI? That's kind of what we're getting at today with NVIDIA's NeMo Guardrails. We're diving deep into how to give AI some boundaries, keep it from going off the rails.
Yeah, it's like setting up those virtual fences, making sure the AI stays on track, especially now that we're using it for, well, pretty much everything.
So why are these guardrails so important right now? I mean, AI's been around.
True, but we're at this point where AI can generate stuff, I mean, really good stuff, even code, faster than ever before. But with that much power, you gotta have some control.
Yeah, handing someone a super fast car without any driving lessons is asking for trouble.
Exactly. Think about like a chatbot giving out bad financial advice, or even worse, generating something actually harmful. Guardrails are like that essential safety net, making sure the AI behaves itself.
Okay, I get it. So how does NVIDIA actually build these guardrails with NeMo?
They've got this whole system, right? And it breaks down into three main parts, or rails: input rails, output rails, and topical rails. It's like directing traffic, but for the AI's thought process.
Okay, let's break those down, make sure I'm following. What are input rails?
Think of them like gatekeepers, deciding what information the AI can even look at. Like, say you're building a chatbot to give medical advice. You wouldn't want it learning from, questionable sources.
Right, definitely not those medical advice threads I've seen online.
Exactly. So input rails help filter it to just the good stuff, the reliable sources.
Makes sense. So the AI gets good information, but how do we make sure its answers are good too?
Ah, that's where the output rails come in. Think of it like a quality check on everything the AI says.
So kind of like an editor, making sure the AI's responses are on point.
Yeah, and that they're appropriate, for whoever's interacting with it. We want people to actually trust what the AI is telling them, right?
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. But what about going off on tangents? How do we keep the AI focused?
Ah, you're talking about topical rails now? These define what the AI is allowed to talk about, keeping the conversation on track.
So if I'm asking about, say, the best pizza place in town,
Hmm.
I don't want to suddenly be bombarded with ads for, like, car insurance.
Exactly. Or let's say you're on a customer service chatbot for a tech company. Topical rails make sure it sticks to troubleshooting your tech issue, not discussing, like, the latest sports scores.
All right, got to keep things relevant, make the experience smooth, even if you are talking to a bot.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, to set up all these rails, are we talking some seriously intense coding here?
You'd think so, right? But this is where NVIDIA gets really clever. They have this thing called Colang 2.0, and it's specifically designed to configure all these NeMo guardrails.
Colang 2.0. Okay, you got to tell me more about this.
Imagine a universal remote, but for your AI. It's way more user-friendly than your typical programming language, even if coding isn't your thing.
Interesting. So it's about making these tools, which sound incredibly powerful, more accessible, not just for hardcore programmers.
Exactly. With Calling 2.0, you can define what you want the AI to do and how you want it to respond, all in plain language, like writing a script, but for AI.
Yeah, it's all about making AI development less intimidating, I'd say. I like it. So we're empowering more people to create AI experiences, but also keep those experiences safe and, working as intended. I'm really curious to dig deeper into Colang 2.0 here. What other cool stuff can it do?
So it's not just basic commands, right? The really cool thing is this concept of asynchronous actions. It basically lets the AI multitask in a way that feels really natural.
Asynchronous actions. Okay, now you got to break that down for me.
Okay, imagine you're talking to like a customer service AI about a technical issue, and you ask for like a diagram or something visual to help explain it. With these asynchronous actions, the AI can actually keep chatting with you while it's searching for that diagram, maybe even generating one in real time.
Oh, that's slick. It's like the AI version of having an assistant hand you a file while you're talking on the phone. Doesn't skip a beat.
Exactly, and it makes the whole interaction so much smoother, more efficient for the user, which is what we want, right?
Totally. Okay, so we've talked a lot about controlling the AI with these guardrails, but it makes
Mhm.
you wonder, are there people out there trying to break the rules, like hack these guardrails?
Oh, absolutely. And that's what's so interesting about NeMo Guardrails. NVIDIA's really thought ahead on this with something called jailbreak detection heuristics.
Jailbreak detection. Okay, suddenly I feel like we're in a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like that. But think about it. Someone might try to trick the AI into, let's say, generating harmful content, but disguising it with all these innocent-sounding phrases. Jailbreak detection, it's designed to pick up on those tricks.
So it's like what, a security system that can see through those disguises and keep the AI safe?
Exactly. It's all about recognizing patterns, things that seem off, and then flagging those as potential attempts to get around the safety protocols.
That's really impressive. So is this a case of like set it and forget it, or are these detection methods constantly being updated?
Oh, it's totally evolving. As developers find new ways to jailbreak, as we're calling it, they can actually update the whole NeMo Guardrails system. It's constantly learning to recognize new threats.
That's reassuring, especially as AI keeps getting more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Okay, this is all fascinating. What else is there to NeMo Guardrails?
So another crucial aspect that really boosts safety and reliability is retrieval augmented generation.
Retrieval augmented generation. That sounds intense. What is that exactly?
Okay, so imagine giving your AI access to this huge, constantly updated library of information, like think research papers, articles, code repositories, you name it. That's what this does. It lets the AI tap into all that info in real time to give better, more accurate answers.
So it's not just going off of what it's already learned, but can actually go out and get the latest info.
Right, and that helps a lot with those situations where AI can sometimes hallucinate information. Grounding the responses in real, verifiable data makes it way more trustworthy.
I can see how that would be important. It's like, double checking your work. But for AI,
Oh.
okay, so we've got all these different pieces working together,
Yeah.
from filtering the information to actually shaping the responses. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. But while we're here geeking out on the tech, it's important to remember the bigger picture. We're talking about building AI that's responsible, something that actually benefits everyone.
Totally. It can't just be about how cool the tech is. We got to think about the why behind it, too.
Yeah, and who it's ultimately for. Tools like NeMo Guardrails, they're powerful, but we, the developers, the researchers, we have to make sure they're used ethically. It's a big responsibility.
It strikes me that we often talk about AI safety in terms of preventing harm, but it's also about ensuring AI is used for good. It's a nuanced distinction, wouldn't you say?
It is, yeah. It's not just about, playing defense, right? It's about how can we use this amazing tech to make things better, and NeMo Guardrails can actually help with that, too.
Oh, interesting. I'm all ears.
Yeah.
How do these safety mechanisms actually encourage positive AI application?
Well, if you're a developer and you've got these tools to, keep the AI in check, you're more likely to try things that could really benefit people. Like, imagine AI that can personalize education for every student, making learning way more engaging. Or using AI to speed up medical research, finding cures faster, things like that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's about building trust, not just with the developers, but with everyone, really.
Exactly. The more people trust that AI is being developed responsibly, the more open they'll be to what it can do. It's about changing the whole narrative, right?
Yeah.
From AI as the scary thing to AI as this powerful tool for good.
And that brings us back to NeMo Guardrails. Giving developers the tools to build that trust is huge.
Absolutely. But it's a team effort, developers, policymakers, researchers, even the public. We've all got to work together to figure this out.
Well said. This has been a fascinating conversation. Thanks for taking the time to break it all down for us.
Happy to do it. Always fun to geek out about AI.
And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. This stuff is constantly evolving, so stay curious, keep asking questions, and we'll catch you in the next episode.